Dominik Szoboszlai is the biggest talk of the town right now. The 6'1" winger is fast, good with the ball at his feet, and has a tough upper body that could muscle through the opponent's left side defense. He is brimming with potential. Where did he come from? To a lot of us, he was relatively unknown before his arrival at Anfield. Dominik Szoboszlai is a Hungarian professional footballer who has been turning heads with his talent. Born on the 25th of October 2000, he began his professional career with the Hungarian club Videoton FC, now Fehérvár FC. His father, who was also his coach, played a significant role in his early development. Recognizing his potential, Austrian club Red Bull Salzburg signed him in January 2017, where he initially played with their feeder team, FC Liefering, in the Austrian 2nd Division. His performances were so impressive that by the age of 18, he was promoted to Salzburg's first team. He then quickly emerged as a vital player for the team. Known for his creative abilities, technical skills, and a knack for scoring goals, Dominik played an instrumental role in Salzburg's domestic league triumphs and their UEFA Champions League campaigns. He helped the club win the Austrian Bundesliga and the Austrian Cup multiple times. Internationally, Dominik has also made significant strides. He scored a stunning late goal in a decisive match against Iceland to secure Hungary a spot in the Euro 2020 tournament, further enhancing his reputation. Now, I've been doing my homework, pondering over his stats. Don't get me wrong, I know stats don't tell the whole story. The impact a player has on the pitch goes far beyond numbers, but outputs do matter. When you stack him up against the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Jude Bellingham, or even Martin Odegaard, Dominik holds his own. He's got 14 goal contributions this season, with 6 goals and 8 assists. Compare that to Bellingham's 12, and despite their different roles, our lad comes out on top. Stats may not be everything, but they sure tell you something, don't they? Now, I'm not declaring Dominik is superior to Jude. I wouldn't dream of it, as it simply wouldn't be true. However, what I am emphatically saying is that a player must make their mark, and he sure is doing that. Liverpool's midfield struggled last season, plagued with injuries and poor performances. There were moments when it felt hollow, lacking in energy, creativity, and in turn, exposing their defense. How could Dominik change this up? Consider this: Dominik joining forces with the already notable McAllister in the midfield. It's an intriguing combination to say the least. The noteworthy detail? The purchase prices. Liverpool was able to secure him for £60 million due to a release clause, which concluded at the end of June. McAllister, as you may remember, was acquired for £35 million. The rationale behind the satisfaction with a £60 million expense lies in the current market climate. It's well known that the Premier League has become an area of high financial stakes, and any player contemplating a move here, particularly to clubs like Chelsea, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, or Spurs, could see their worth increase significantly. Just look at Declan Rice, a phenomenal player, I grant you that. He recently made a whopping £105 million switch to Arsenal, and I would say Liverpool are playing the same card game. However, the club has never shown itself to make a transfer of £100 million plus for a single player. The most expensive Liverpool player has signed in the last 20 years was Darwin Núñez from Benfica in 2022 for £80 million. Is Dominik worth the transfer fee? He has the knack for forward passes, a potent shot. Oh, and have you seen his goals? He's a versatile scorer, striking from outside the box, inside the box, you name it. He's got a reliable cross too. Every strike, every touch of his boasts precision and technical excellence. And you know what? He better have all that because he's wearing the coveted number 8 jersey. Naby Keita struggled to fulfill the weight of that number 8 in his time with the Reds. You couldn't blame him though, especially when being compared to a Liverpool great, often being mentioned in the same sentence as Kenny Dalglish, John Barnes, and Robbie Fowler, to name a few. Every player deserves a fair shot, a year or so to adapt, and hopefully hit the ground running. Every top-tier player dreams of playing in that league, which I consider the best in the world, second only to the World Cup, of course. Perhaps the club has a better chance of fighting for that title in the coming seasons with the development of this team. Nevertheless, his decision to join Liverpool, even without the promise of Champions League football, speaks volumes about the club's appeal. This reminds one of Klopp's comments when he signed Naby Keita. He expressed that the player was keen to contribute to the team's journey from the beginning, not just hop on when things are already going well. This demonstrates the kind of ambition that can invigorate a squad during a rebuilding phase. In a notable detail, Dominik is a known fan of Steven Gerrard, Liverpool's iconic former captain. He even has a tattoo in tribute to Gerrard. While it's hard to determine whether this influenced his decision to join Liverpool, if his admiration for Gerrard is any indication of his performance level, Liverpool supporters could have much to look forward to. This seems to be a well-thought-out acquisition, especially given the £60 million cost. It's plausible that the club could have asked for a more significant fee if not for the player's release clause. This deal appears to reflect Liverpool's typical strategy, maintaining a low profile, making an assertive offer, and securing the player almost unexpectedly. Yet, it's important to acknowledge that this is a new challenge for Jurgen Klopp as well. He's cognizant of the proverbial 7-year itch that's often discussed. This is his first major reconstruction after creating a championship-winning squad. However, considering past successes with players such as Mane and Salah, who were brought in for roughly £30 million each and flourished into top-tier players under Klopp's guidance, it's reasonable to assume he might achieve similar results again. Granted, he will encounter strong competition from accomplished managers like Guardiola and Arteta, but given his selection of players that complement Liverpool's style, there's a certain optimism for the future of the squad. It's not to suggest that Liverpool's capture of Dominik automatically signifies imminent Premier League or Champions League success. However, it's encouraging to see this progressive strategy with signings that hold substantial potential. Dominik, a 22-year-old with a promising future, could serve as a cornerstone for Liverpool for many years to come. It's conceivable that the club could build a successful era with him at the helm. While speaking of Liverpool's right wing, you cannot miss the question of what about Mo Salah? He played all of Liverpool's Premier League games in the 2022-23 season. That is 38 games week in and week out. Granted, he had been subbed off, but you cannot undermine Mo's output last season. He played the most league games last season out of any of his seasons since his debut with the Reds in 2017. With Mo just turning 31, Jurgen Klopp, being the wise man he is, had probably begun building Liverpool's empire post-Mo. And I think that it's a good time to bring Dominik to Anfield now while he can train with Mo and learn as much as he could from the Egyptian veteran. Dominik had already quite literally embodied, or shall I say, bodied the Liverpool spirit. The 22-year-old had a Steven Gerrard quote tattoo on his left arm. According to the outlet Index.hu, the new Liverpool man has a tattoo inspired by Gerrard which reads, "Talent is a blessing from God, but without incredible will and humility, it is worthless." This was confirmed during his interview with LiverpoolFC.com, saying, "I have a tattoo from Steven Gerrard." Dominik is also admired by the atmosphere in Anfield, having played there before during Champions League games. The parallels to Steven don't stop there. Following the departure of Naby Keita this summer, the iconic number 8 shirt, previously worn by Gerrard, was available. Dominik was keen to take on the responsibility, as he cited his tattoo as one of the reasons for selecting that number. A goal-scoring midfielder that can also create is an apt definition of both players, so the similarities are there for all to see. It's a big ask to fill the boots left by Gerrard when he exited the club back in 2015, but comparisons will no doubt be made if the new man hits the ground running. Of course, the true test will come when he steps foot on the Premier League pitch. That's when we'll find out if he's truly got what it takes. But based on his stats and performances so far, it looks promising and could potentially revitalize the Liverpool squad. Check out these recommended videos for more Premier League football content here on YouTube.